Good evening, everybody. It's Shelley Johns and Ross Henderson.
Good evening.
From Gympie. We're Herbalife supervisors. I've been in the company for 28 years. You've been in for
3
years. And yeah, we just love helping people with their healthy, active lifestyle. I've lost 20 kilos, 3 dress sizes and 20 centimeters off my tummy. What's your result?
I've lost 15 kilos.
Okay.
I can't see how many centimetres, I'm sorry.
That's
Are
okay.
you recording it? It doesn't matter.
It is, it's recording. See that little button there?
Oh, okay, cool.
There we go, it's recording.
No worries.
So tonight's call is all about how to talk to people, especially if they ask off your button or off a flyer, they've called off a flyer, what to say. Because sometimes we get a bit, I suppose, scared or worried about what's going to happen. But to start off our good news for the week, we just had an awesome event on Saturday in Brisbane. Let me have a quick look through. With millionaire team member 7500, Phil Hayden from Victoria, and I just really loved his training. I do quite like Phil because of his story, and I know he's been through a lot of growth and a lot of lots of things have happened in his life that could have been so many reasons for him not to do Herbalife, but he didn't make any excuses. And I love the fact that the main motivating factor for him was that he could will his business to his children. So he knew if he could build something, he could pass it on to his kids and they would be okay. They would be looked after for the rest of their lives. So I think, sometimes you've got to figure out what your why is. And yes, I really picked up a few things. So I just thought, what are the 3 things that you learned, or what could you put into action from what you learned from Phil? So Rosemary, did you want to start off what you got from Phil Hayden?
Yes, for sure. Rosemary Gerard from Brisbane. I was just so, I don't know, this man, I have seen Phil, I think it might have been 8 years ago as well, but I think it was 8 years. And such an inspirational man, a beautiful man. He's been through a lot in his, no doubt, and just is very emotional, but also the fact that Herbalife has made a huge difference to his life all the way through from when he started on Herbalife. The things that he sort of said to me personally in that that group, he wasn't talking to me personally, but yes, I did. I shook his hand and I said to him how wonderful he was, just so inspiring. When we had the supervisor workshop, there was just so much that he said, practice the word energy all the time. And the other thing, several things that he said, become emotional with the business and the product, which I would have to agree. And just make things simple. And if you're excited, people notice. So, and there were many more things that he said, but I'm just so glad. I could have had a lot of reasons why I couldn't, could have said, oh, I'm not going to go to that meeting, but I am so thankful that I did. So I thank Phil from my heart, and I think, I think everybody who was in that meeting on Saturday, it was a wonderful training. Thank you, and yes, that's me.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. And it's so lovely to see you at the events because you're always so warm and you're always giving compliments and that. So I just love that about you. So, you're definitely, one of our, head mastermind group people. And I just love this photo at the end that we took of, and this represents lots of different organizations, but we're all one team. And I love that we all, I want you to feel part of that team and really know that we're all one group and we all want to move forward together, no matter where you are and whose team you're in and who sponsored you. It doesn't really matter. Us all together make a stronger group. So, Coral, I know you went there on Saturday, so would you like to share what you got out of Phil Hayden?
Yeah, well, not many dry eyes were in the room, that's for sure. He's so powerful. What I like too, he put up a story about him at the time he was feeling pretty large, and he said, but that's what he could do at the time of what he was going through in his journey. So no matter where you are in your journey, you're in that moment and at that stage. So that was quite powerful, and he looks $1 million now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely. How strong, how he just loves the Herbalife family as a one in the way they've got around him and his family. And only for Herbalife, he would have lost his home and what it's given for him and his family. So it's proven that we're in a great company. Yeah, and just the strongness. We had a meeting, or just with a group of us, and he spoke from the heart, and there's just no ifs and buts. It's straight down the line, and that's what I loved about him. He's a true character, true person. And the photo down the bottom here, yes, I'd like to thank Shelley and the team there. And as he talked about having this Herbalife family, I guess, thank you. You made it all true to me on Saturday, that I'm just so welcome, and I've got my little family starting, and it's a real blessing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep, you're right. So we all stick together and we all help, and hopefully we can encourage the rest of Queensland to do the same thing and really wrap their arms around everybody. So thank you so much for sharing, Coral. It's lovely to get everyone's feedback. Rusta, do you want to share what you got from Phil?
So I suppose from Phil, my thing was, what he brought across was never give up. You never know what sort of crazy person you can find. Need to keep working on our own personal development. That's so obvious. I relate a lot to Phil, probably a lot of the time, and I know how much I've been through, and I know how much personal development I still need to go on. And I suppose I look at Phil as basically this way: if he can do what he's done, I don't have one single excuse. Not at all. If someone could go through all that someone like that can go through and keep going and keep moving forward, I don't have a single excuse to not be out there trying on it every single day.
Yes, well, you have been quite motivated since we've come back.
I probably have.
We've updated all the offers from July through to December, so we've got all our goals.
2 90-day plans set up.
Yep. So I've just finished one, not very well, mind you. We're definitely working harder. So I'm thinking, well, if we could achieve what we've just achieved in the last 90 days, without, we could be working harder. What
Absolutely.
could we do in the next 90 days? So that's really cool. Is there anything else you got from Phil?
No, that's pretty well.
Cool. I've got some more photos. That's the World Team Breakout Room, which was really great. I actually quite liked that style of training and having that. I know sometimes they don't like when you take some people out of the room for the new guests, but I think it was actually made the day run quite well. It went very smoothly. So I thought that was pretty cool. I really liked it, and I liked that he did that special little bit of training that you didn't get anywhere else, so that exclusive training. So this was the notes that I took for the day. So he said, if you truly understand your opportunity with Herbalife, you will study how to talk to every type of person, because you want to attract business to you. So how much are you willing to work on yourself so that you are so versatile that you could talk to any type of person, the business person, the mum, any background. How cool is that? So that and he always said, always be a student. So I love that. And he said he doesn't think of himself as a Herbalife coach. He thinks of himself as a prepare for anything coach. So just imagine if we're thinking like that, we're helping people to prepare for anything. So I thought that was cool. Practicing gratitude in all things, in all ways. He talked about his background, how he'd worked since he was 12 years old. So he definitely is a worker. So he's quite motivated. And you know what? There's lots of people out there like that have been working since they were 12 and that are always trying to be the best. He said even when he was picking and planting lettuce he wanted to be the best at it, no matter what. So think about that in your Herbalife business. That most people that are new, they're not rejecting you, they're just scared. Most people are quite scared. So he used to get it quite aggressive and upset with people that would reject him, but now he has empathy. And he said that's been a really big shift in his business, having empathy for people that reject him because they're rejected because of their own fear. So he's obviously done a lot of work on himself to become a better student, understanding what you're part of. He said most people work, retire and die, he said, versus living a passionately alive life. So what would you choose? He said the only mistake you could ever make in this business is quitting. So never ever quit, which is what you said. And he said you're only one maniac away from having the best time of your life, living your best life, having the most success. So you never know who you're going to recruit. Let's have a look. He talked about his story of how he came across Herbalife, and quite interesting enough that his sponsor, the guy Matt that got him on the products, never, like, he actually walked him across the road to the ATM to get 2 Ultimate programs and paid for them then and there, and he never got any follow-up. So hence his first 25 clients that he got on Ultimate programs, he never did any follow-up.
And lost them.
And he lost them, of course. So so he had to learn the hard way, but he knew that the follow-up was important after that. And he also ended up signing himself up under Maddie. And yeah, so he said, if you're thinking that your sponsor has to do anything for you, they don't. You have to get yourself there. He said he did everything himself, got himself to the trainings and just did that. So he never expected anything. So if your sponsor shared the opportunity with you, and that's their job done basically, because through the career manual and attending trainings and doing stuff yourself, you could do whatever you wanted to do. Yes, it's great having a mentor. I'm not saying that. Obviously we try really hard to give support and mentor our whole group, and but just imagine if you let go of all those expectations, what that would mean. Let's have a look. Is there anything else? So he really talked about the Mark Hughes trainings in Jim Rohn, which we had playing all today, except for that one with Jim Rohn, which is his very last.
Did you cry for it?
The last time that he's on stage in America. So I cried twice. I tried after you left as well. So anyway, so listen to lots of Mark Hughes and Jim Rohn. First, develop people as people. So you really want to help with that personal development. Make sure it's simple. If you can tell it to a 6-year-old and then they can explain it back to you, then you've got a simple business and a simple plan, and that's what you should do, because other people can do it as well. Less science and more passion. And I've actually got something that relates to today at tonight's training from Mark Hughes on that. Do your presentation, then stop for that decision, which we're going to be talking about tonight as well with our topic. Volume points equal value points, which I know you love that. So it's not a volume point, it's a value point. How much value can you bring in that actual volume point? And take responsibility, be a better student. He said that a lot. And leave people with their dignity intact. He said this was one thing that he had to work really hard on, was not taking everything personally with rejection or anything like that, making sure that if you leave people with their dignity intact, even if they say no, they may come back to you when they're ready. So that was really, really important. So that was basically what I got out of Phil Hayden. I thought it was pretty good. I thought he kept it pretty real, and I love that he didn't really swear that much. He just replaced every swear word with the word rainbow. And that was quite funny. It made for a very interesting training. So I just wanted to say congratulations to all the people that got to the World Team Breakout training. Congratulations to Michael and Cara for being recognised as supervisor. In fact, it was their very first STS, so technically they had senior consultant, success builder, qualified producer and supervisor, and the member activation program all qualified for within that. It hadn't even been 3 months at that stage. I think it's 3 months at the end of this month. So that's pretty exciting for them to see that, and that Michael got to go along. And Trish and Marie came as well, so it was really great, and I think everyone got lots and lots out of the training. So definitely worth going to the STSs, and because there's so much you can get out of it, and of course you only get what you want out of it. and it's worth making the effort and the time to travel there as well. So make sure you know when your next STS is on, and I've got that on the events slide coming up as well. So did anyone want to add anything extra before we move on?
Oh, what I got from him as well. Yep, very, very good.
Cool. Thank you, Rosemary. Okay, so let's go on how to talk to people. So who feels that they would, be a bit apprehensive or not as confident that if someone called them on their mobile phone or home phone, often if a flyer or some sort of advertising, you wouldn't feel 100% confident in what to say. So
I'm okay person to person if someone like today in the bank, or if I'm if someone does a hit on the button, that's okay, because you can tell by looking at someone's face what they're whether they're really interested or they're just sort of curious. So but on the phone, and I suppose the annoying part for me is sometimes when you try and phone, or everyone's busy, so I can't judge, but sometimes you don't want to overkill, so sometimes I might try and return the phone call or email, and then you get nothing, so then you don't want to seem like you're harassing, so how long do you wait? There's a whole lot of stuff that goes with it.
So I get, because Irene is very much like that. She said she likes face to face because she can see if someone's eyes have glazed over, and she knows the point when they're not really interested in it.
Same here.
So over the phone, you still have to get used to, sometimes you can hear it in people's voices as well. You put out a flyer in the letterbox, and then someone calls. First thing is, if you're not ready for it, don't do the call then and there. If you're out somewhere, you don't have a script in front of you, or you've got other things going on. So sometimes I can have nothing happening, but I'm just not mentally ready. And I'll just say, I've just got a client here. I've just got an appointment. Could I please give you a call back? What's your name? Great. What flyer did you call up? Fantastic. Could I call you back in 20 minutes? Or, whenever it is. Then I set a time, and then I call them back. Sure. Could they not be on there when I speak to, call them back? Yes, that does happen. Happens to all of us. I've had people that I've never been able to get back to again. So you just got to be, like Jim Rohn says, they are just one of those people that you'll never get back to. And, if you ever get time, you can always send them a text. Sometimes people will respond to texts more than they will a phone call if they don't recognise the number. So I'll often do that. I'll ring, leave a message, didn't hear back from them, next day, text, hey, such and such, try to call you, you call me about the flyer, when's a good time? And if they don't contact you back, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to move on. Because if you've got enough numbers coming through, you don't tend to focus on those things. If you don't have a lot going on, you tend to focus on all the things that aren't happening. So you need lots going on so that you can just keep moving through it.
But that's right, because I delivered 200 flyers today. So if all 200 people call, I've got to be ready.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Joanne here, talking about people not getting back to you. I had a lead from Herbalife the other day, and you sort of, in one way, you do expect them to be there because you've had a lead from Herbalife. Anyway, rang the girl, and I did speak to her, and she had used Herbalife years and years ago, so she's quite interested in getting back on the product. But it wasn't convenient to talk because I did ask that question of her. And she said, later on this afternoon. So I made a time for 4 o'clock. So I said, fine. And I said, if that's not suitable, is there another time? She said, well, maybe first thing in the morning. But she said, I should be home by 4 o'clock. So I rang at 4 o'clock, no answer. So I thought, okay. And I rang a little bit later on as well, still no answer. So I left it to the next morning, rang again, no answer. So then I sent an email because I did have the email address, and I put, hi, it was really nice talking with you. I did call on the appropriate time that we made together, or made the appointment time with, and I did call also this morning. Unfortunately, we didn't connect, but if you'd like to email me back to appropriate times or suitable times for you, and I'll call you at those times. And kind regards, really looking forward to helping you with the products so you can feel good again, and sent off the email. Still haven't heard from her. So even Herbalife leads don't get back to you. So it's just one of those things.
And and in saying that, Cara, who will probably get to listen to this recording, didn't get back to me straight away either. So I think it was at least 1 or 2 months down the track from the original contact, which was just an email address. There was no phone number. Didn't hear back from. I think I might have emailed twice just to say, hey, haven't heard from you. Is everything okay? And then she said, oh, sorry, my daughter had an operation and she hadn't recovered as quickly as we wanted. So there was, life had happened, and then she got back to me, and here it is, what's happened with Cara. So yes, there's always those exceptions to the rule, but you need to work out in your mind that if you're not busy, sure, you can spend time getting back to those people, but you still need to be spending time generating new stuff as well. So
sorry, I was just going to ask a question, but that's all right. I was just going to say for Jan, when you email somebody, do you keep it reasonably brief? I mean, can you just fluff on too much sometimes, or
yes, I don't put a great deal in it. Just sort of thanking them for their time, and then sort of we made the appointment. You weren't there, unfortunately. Looking forward to helping you in the future. That sort of thing, not long by any means, because people don't read it. And I still have all the details. And like you said, Shelley, I will call or send off another email in a couple of weeks' time, because life does happen.
And another little trick too is what I do is on the email or the text is I might attach 2 or 3 before and after photos.
Yes, I've done that in the past as well. Absolutely.
Because it just might be the results it gets them. So all those sort of little things can help. And a text these days is all included in your call, your monthly call plan. So if I can have unlimited texts and stuff, I'll do as much as I can. And the same with emailing. There's very little cost involved. That's your time. So if you can put as much value into that and maybe just inspire them, that would be great too. So they're all great things, because yes, you're going to get people that don't get back to you, and it's okay. Record all their details, have them in that get back to you if I've got nothing else to do thing, and then get busy generating more business.
That's probably the biggest thing is go and generate more businesses, go and do more flyers, go and speak to more people, just go and do more. And like Phil brought up on the weekend, and I know I suffer from it from time, we put so much emphasis on one individual at times, and we really should just be, like he said, be empathetic to that individual, and actually almost, the word is not sorry, but he felt like, that person is missing out on that opportunity, and it's not you that's the issue at that time. It's wherever their life is going on. And you just got to remember that it's not a reflection on you in any way, shape or form. And just move on and just continue doing the work that's required.
And always leave the door open so they can come back to you when they are ready.
Yep. Which is hard to do sometimes.
Yeah. And just saying, the Herbalife leads, just in case you wanted to know, what's your tab team? This is why you want to get to tab team. And not that we bank on getting Herbalife leads. They're just like our little bonus. That when someone goes into the Herbalife website, they go into a little wheel and that gets distributed amongst the tab team members. So great reason to become a tab team member as well. But of course, we still qualify the leads. So if they've spoken to someone, then we do refer them back as well, just so you know, because that does happen from time to time too. So ethics is always such a big thing.
So where that's concerned, like you've brought up in the past with that, and I know people may not all be tab team on the call, but you can allocate what area you want those calls to come from in tab team, and you've shortened it down, because otherwise you were qualifying people and go, oh, I know I've already spoken to because they live somewhere else. So by bringing them into a closer area, you know who's working in this area. It's a lot easier to qualify that person a lot quicker.
Yeah, you can choose where you get them from. And I did find by having it Australia-wide, sometimes it would mean they'd already spoken to another coach. So I actually narrowed my field down to Southeast Queensland or something like that. So TAB team stands for tabulated team, because that was on
that was another thing on the call today, yes.
Mark Hughes was talking about it, and we don't probably hear that as much, in training. So tabulated team is TAB team, and that's your get team, mill team, pres team. So basically people that and above that are receiving, can receive the bonuses and things like that. So just so you know what that means. So now someone has called you and you're ready to speak to them. You need to make sure you've got a script. So I've got a script here. I'm going to upload it onto Challenge Yourself Daily. And this is my basic weight loss script that I've always used. And I'd always have it by the phone, and I'd always scribble all over it and write extra results and things like that. So it's really important that you put it in your set of words so it sounds like you. So I know I've got a couple of scripts from Gary, and of course he talks completely different to me. So I just changed the wording so it was still his script, but it sounded like me. That's for recruiting. Hey Josh. So hi. So the script's the basic one that we've been taught all the way along. So I thought I would run through it and maybe get Jan and Rosemary to jump in if they like as well and add what they want. And I've also got Jerry Taylor's too. So sometimes it's good to have a different type of script so that someone can choose what feels like them. But the most important thing, which is what was on the Mark Hughes training today, is you want to spend 15% of your time explaining the program and its benefits, and 75% of the time on sharing your results and other results that relate to that person. Okay, so it's really important that you understand the structure of your time, because sometimes we spend too much time on explaining the program and we don't really need to. And I can tell you this script that I'm about to read out, I was selling programs over the phone and just shipping them out. Like I was actually getting sales over the phone with this. So these days we'd book someone into the centre, but if someone doesn't live near you, you still got to get that skill up of being able to retail over the phone. So Jan, would you say that you can do that quite effectively, retail over the phone?
Yeah, I had to sort of move into that, but initially it was eyeball to eyeball, but later on you do have to learn to do it over the phone.
Yep, and either way is fine, because remember they're still going to get awesome follow-up no matter where they live. They could even be overseas and you could still do a Zoom call or something like this as well. Okay, so if I'm bringing the person back. Hi, I'm going to say hi, Ross.
Hi, Shelley.
It's Shelley here. I'm just returning your call regarding the weight loss program. Is now a good time for you?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Great. So I've got a pen and paper by the phone, so I can write it down as I'm speaking. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Are you serious about losing weight?
Yes.
Great. Now, if he wasn't, and he was just curious, it's okay. I'd say, look, I'm really looking for serious people. And look, generally most people that are calling you back off a flyer are relatively serious, so they wouldn't have taken that step, but you still want to qualify them. Great. So how much did you want to lose?
15 kilos.
Okay, great. I can definitely help you do that. And what have you tried before?
Everything.
What's everything? Give me five things.
Some stuff from the chemist,
Yeah.
and all these other programs that are out there. A lot of chemist stuff. Okay, that was I'm not going to say all the companies. That's all.
Other shakes and stuff, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Shakes and stuff. Okay. Cool. So.
The fad diets that come up from time to time. And
Yeah.
bits and pieces. Yeah.
So why don't you think they worked?
I just felt like I did it for a while and then it just got boring and I went back to eating what I used to. I like my packets of chips.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And is there a reason why you want to lose weight now? Have you got a goal or a event coming up?
Yep. I've now got to sit on the floor to do my shoes up, and it's starting to hurt my belly.
Is that okay? Well, that's not a good thing, is it?
No.
Okay. Great. Okay. Well, you're going to love this program, Ross.
Okay.
So our program is called Cellular Nutrition, and it gives you all the right nutrition and balance every single day. You're going to get more energy. You're going to lose between whatever value you want to say each month. Plus, you're going to lose lots of centimeters. You can do up those shoes without sitting on the floor.
Cool.
And you can still eat your chips. You just have to cut back.
Oh, okay.
And it helps with cravings. And best of all, you can still eat all the food you love.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Yeah, so you won't be bored. So this is what happened to me. I actually lost 20 kilos and 3 dress sizes. And this is what happened to my friend Ross. He actually lost 15 kilos.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
And he was still able to eat the food he loved.
Okay.
Cool. So also my other friend, Stephen. Stephen, what was your result? Just fire it away at me.
I lost 22 kilos over a period of 7 months.
Cool. So my friend Steve from Canberra lost 22 kilos in 7 months.
Wow.
So how cool is that?
That's cool.
So you're definitely going to lose 15.
Okay.
Okay, great. So there's 3 programs. There's Fast, Faster and Fastest. I used the fastest and so did Steve and so did my friend Ross. He lost using the Ultimate program, so that's probably the best one. But we also have an Advanced, which is the faster one, and the Quick Start program is the fast one. They're all great programs. So this is what they are each month. This is how much the Ultimate is, and this is how much the Advanced is, and this is how much the Quick Start is. So it's really simple to use our programs, and all you have to do is use it twice a day. You can have anything for your main meal, have 2 to 3 snacks, which is great, so you can still have the things you love. Have some water and our supplements 3 times a day, and you're going to get great results and feel fantastic. Plus, you get me coaching you.
Okay.
Cool. So our programs come in all these different flavors: chocolate berry, cookies and cream, mint chocolate, vanilla. Which flavor would you like?
Berry.
Berry, great. That's my favorite too. So, okay. Which program do you think would suit your budget?
That's a tough one.
So do you want your result fast, or do you want it the fastest possible result?
I want the fastest possible result.
Okay. So which one do you think you would like?
I'd like to go with the Ultimate, but I'm not real sure whether I really want to spend that amount of money.
Okay, how much do you want to spend?
Well, I was probably looking at around $100 a month.
You're trying to curveball at me. Just an easy customer to start with.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, you know, Ross, $100 a month, you know, and I'm looking at what you probably used to spend, you know, with your chips and.
But you said I didn't have to give them up.
No, you don't have to, but I'm just saying, look at what you already are spending. So we don't really have a program that fits in with that's going to get you the result that you want. So I really feel you should choose a faster or fastest program. So which one would you like to choose?
We'll go with the fast one then.
Okay, so the fast one's pretty cool.
There.
Great, and you know what? You can always upgrade if you need to, and if you're happy with the results on that, that's fine too.
Okay.
Okay, great. So when would you like to get started?
Yesterday.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I've got one in stock right now. You can either meet me at the centre where we are. I can give you the address and meet up with you tomorrow and get you started, or I can have it shipped out to you. What would you like?
Just send it to me, please.
Cool. Okay, great. So how would you like to pay for that? Would you like to pay for Visa or MasterCard?
MasterCard.
Okay, great. So I'd take his details over the phone and blah, blah, blah. Now, will that always happen? No. Some people are going to want to meet up with you, or maybe they'll want a bit of extra information, or they need to talk to their partner, or they need to think about it. Do those things happen too? Yes. Jan, did you want to add any tips on that? I think you're muted, that's all.
No, you've covered that well, all angles. Like you've just said, you know, sometimes they need to ask their partner and all that sort of thing. And all you can do is just make a time when you can get back to them. But really, I have said to one person, it's your weight. So really you need to be responsible for your own weight, and nobody else needs to tell you about your own weight.
So yes, and you've got to get a feel of that person on how strong you can be.
You do that for everybody.
And it's like Jim Rohn, isn't it? Be strong without being rude, and just knowing that you care enough to help them make a decision. Now, I've definitely used this script to get the sale on the phone straight up. Is it easier with a referral from someone else? Absolutely. But you need to ask for a decision. So that thing at the bottom there, and you need to allow the pause, the pause of once you've asked the question, allowing them to answer. You have to just wait. It might seem like a very long time. You know, there's uncomfortable silence, but you, what did Mark Paulson say? Was it Mark Paulson, or was it Phil Hayden said? The person that speaks first
loses.
Loses.
It is true.
So you just, you know,
Very true.
Yeah, and you have to allow, you know, you've done all the talking and the explaining, and I've got lots of results written down too, plus I know a lot of results. So it was great hearing Steve's result live. Like, it's pretty impressive. If you just keep sharing results of people and showing before and after photos, because I've got heaps of them at the centre, I've got heaps of them on my phone. It's really the results that you should be focusing on, because the more technical you get, so this is what Phil said too on Saturday, it was, you know, because he was right into all of it, being a PT, it gets so technical, and he said you really don't need to be technical, you just need to show them your passion and your belief in what you're doing and your result, because it's your result. That's it. No one can argue with your result. It's a complete fact, and you need to be strong about it. And then you keep sharing other people's results that relate to that person. So I would keep, I'd go through all the results that you have on file for programs and write them all down, especially when you're at STSs. Start asking people, oh, did you use the Quick Start, Advanced or Ultimate? And start writing them all down, because I've got a whole bunch of them. I know I can just reel them off as I'm going along. And, you know, you want to keep practicing the script. I'm going to upload it. You can change it and add your prices and things like that. I think the one with Jerry Taylor, which I'll put up as well, he's great because he asks people what they spend each week or day on food, so that whatever they're spending, then he can actually relate it back to a program. Yep. Do you realise you're spending so much each day? So I did it with Jazz. I gave her some skincare samples, but she really liked the instant herbal beverage because I gave her a sample of that. She's a beauty therapist in the shopping centre. And I gave her the price of the instant herbal beverage, and she went, oh, like it was too expensive. And she's got a cup of coffee sitting right there as we're talking. I said, how much is that cup of coffee, Jazz? And she said, about $4. I said, and how many do you get a day? She said, 1 or 2. I said, okay, well, let's just cut it down to 1, and you're getting every day. I said, so, you know, that's $28 a week. So it's about 30. So 4, 3 is 12. So $120 you're just spending on 1 cup of coffee a day every single month. I said, and that doesn't even count if you get 2 cups. I said, and this is $89, and it's going to give you 60 cups, and it's so much better for you, counts as your water, blah, blah, blah. I went through all the benefits. I said, so, you know, you've got to look at the value of what you're getting. And so they're the sort of things you're going to have to do with the program as well. Look at what people are spending, you know, if they smoke or they drink on the weekends or whatever it is, you know, what are they willing to spend their money on their health or on something that's going to shorten their life. So these are things you've got to get good at talking about as you're speaking to them. And it's not your job to convince them, it's really your job to inspire them, but you've also got to get at them looking at what are they really spending their money on. I know one of Kara's friends, he drinks 2 litres of iced coffee a day. So we know that costs a fair bit of money. So if he just swapped it and made Herbalife iced coffees with the shake, you know, he'd actually save money. So it's just looking at those things. Did you have any tips on the script?
The biggest thing I suppose we pick up all the time, all right, the script is really good, is it's probably the dollar componentry that can get it, that stumbles people up. And the other way at times is to look at things like break your programs down into weekly componentries if need be, because someone says, oh, I can afford that a week, but then you're telling them a month value. So that we also got something the other day, and actually you don't know I've actually done this.
What did you do?
So Hello Fresh is coming to this area at the moment, and it flies in everybody's letterboxes everywhere, and it's, you know, it's only $69 for 3 meals. Go and add it up and work out what it really works out to be for a month's program, and it's well and truly over the price, and considering they're getting 1 meal a day. And it was $69 for 3 meals for 4 people or whatever it was. So a family of 2 adults and 2 children, and the 2 children wouldn't be on your program. Double that out to start with for a weekly basis, and you think about it, it's 1 meal a day and you're giving 2. So you need to know some of that information when people are prepared to start throwing things at you about their objections. You've got enough information back in the back of your head to go, hang on a minute, yeah, I've had a look at that, and, you know, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
I think one of the keys too is just having the 3 options: Quick Start, Advanced and Ultimate. Don't start going through all the other programs because it gets too confusing. Generally, if you give people 3 options, they'll choose the middle one, just so you know. That does happen. And it's okay if someone chooses an advanced program to start on, and whatever they choose, make them feel good about it. Look, they're all great programs, and you know, you can always upgrade if you want. But if you're happy with the results you're getting, then just stick with that program. So yes, you want to give them the 3 options. I didn't put the price on there only because our programs have the extra shake, and not everyone does that. Just because I know if we get someone on a program, we want them to have 2 shakes that last the whole month, and some may even need more than 2 shakes if they're using more scoops and they've got, you know, more to lose, or they might be on weight gain. So they're all the things you've got to put into consideration. Look, there's nothing wrong with selling a standard program, but they need to be aware that in 2 weeks' time they need to come back and get another shake. And does that mean you get to catch up with them? Great. But if they don't live near you, maybe setting them up so they're not doubling up on freight and things like that. You need to take all those sort of things into consideration on what you're doing as well. So I think, you know, this is what I would do is with the scripts, when you see them come up, go through, just tweak it a little bit, have a look at Jerry's one, have a look at the one I've got, and then put your own wording into it, the prices, and just some of the results of people that you know personally. It's probably easier to talk about. And then start practicing it with a friend or a family member. I think if you're new and you start practicing it with friends and family members, it's a great way of getting them interested in the program, because you get to practice, and guess what? You're letting them know about it. And if they become members down the track, you already train them on what to do. Or you're just practicing with your sponsor. Some people get a little bit nervous about that. I don't know why. When people were practicing with me, like I was going to, grade them or whatever. But sometimes it's good to do it with your sponsor. And the other thing too is that when you get a phone call, your very first couple of phone calls, do them with your sponsor or mentor, whoever's helping you, and listen to them do it on the phone. So the 3-way is good. Like I could do a 3-way with Lindy easy. I could ring Lindy, ring her lead, and she can, I can do it 2 ways. Hi Ross, thanks for responding to our flyer. I've just got Lindy on the other line. We work together, and do you mind if we're both on the call with you at the same time? Or Lindy stays on mute and I do the call and she just listens in. So, or she might be sitting with me while we do it. So either way is fine. So there's a few different ways that you can do that. Do it with them a couple of times, and then you can listen in on them do it. Sometimes they find that a bit nerve-wracking again, so that's okay. So get them to tape themselves or record themselves talking so they can play it back and listen to themselves, because you'll pick up, am I saying and too much? Did I stick to the script? How did I sound? Did I sound, enthusiastic? Or is this, something that I could have added or left out that to make it more effective? So there's some things that I'm thinking of that would help. I know Gary was always stand up when you're talking to people. They only pick up on so much of your enthusiasm. Look in the mirror when you're doing it, because you pick up a lot on your body language while you're doing it. So great ways of accelerating your growth in the business. So it's up to you how fast you want to grow. And some things are scary. I was just petrified. Like I said, I wouldn't call people back for 2 weeks and then they weren't interested because I'd taken so long to call them back because I was so scared. And I had to get it over myself and know that it was okay, because, so just think the next person you ring back could be your president's team member.
And could I say the best advice you ever gave me, maybe you may have forgotten you've done it, but you said to me when we were in Adelaide, if you're talking to someone, always give them value. So I just, that's in my head going, that's great, yeah, but what the hell is she talking about? And so then when, she's in that weird language again. But when I was in the bank today, because this guy was a real fit fellow and had done, competitions and things, I thought, okay, he said, can you just flick me a quick email when you get home? And I said, okay, but then you tell me what your home email, so I'm not hassling at work in case they go through emails and whatnot. So I thought, content. So I went through and found some of the Herbalife athletes, and then a little bit about sports stars through on Herbalife Nutrition, and just sent the 2 links. So I thought, I've added value. So, yes, good advice. So thank you. I got to use your wisdom eventually.
You're most welcome. And I think those are the things too, is if you're not sure how to talk to someone, then just do that form, the family, occupation, recreation, and listening for the message of what they're dissatisfied with. Works well when you're out face-to-face with a button, but you can also use it when someone calls off a flyer to form them as well, just if you're not quite sure what to say or what to ask. So you should really be asking questions too and finding out about them, because if you're doing all the talking, you're not going to find out about them, and you're also not going to get a feel of how interested they are or how serious they are. So they're probably some of the tips, and that just comes with experience, and you've got to be willing to make some mistakes and to stuff things up and know that it's okay, because that's how I learned. I learned by making a lot of mistakes, like going, oh, why did I say that? I totally lost them. And then I go, oh, that was awesome. And I said, I'm so going to say that next time. And that's basically how I worked out what to say, by making lots and lots of mistakes. And so I think that's probably How are we going on time? Great. So Jan and Rosemary, with all your wisdom of retailing, did you want to add any little extra tips that might help?
I think what you've said pretty well covers it, to be honest. And I personally, you get a feel about people, you know, when you're talking to them, whether it be on the phone or whether it be in person. Yeah, and be as natural as you can with that person, and allow them to feel, I just feel, you know, comfortable in your presence as well, so that you're not, you know, I never like the thought of you pressuring anyone, that you know, give them that chance to, you know, make that decision, whatever it might be that they're going to go with your product. Yeah.
And I might have been a little bit pushy on that script, but it was just more demonstrating.
Oh, no, you weren't pushy, but I just think, you know, it's different when you're with someone. I think it's, yeah. I'm sure you realise that.
Yeah. Thank you, Rosemary. Jan?
Yeah, no, you've covered it, and Rosemary's covered it all well. You know, what you've covered is really, really great. And it's just trying to be as natural and relaxed as you possibly can when you are talking to people. I know it is, like you, I was very, very terrified initially. No two ways about it. And you do make mistakes, and you do learn from those mistakes. But yeah, just try and be relaxed and natural and enthusiastic.
And remember, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. And you've got to be okay with people saying no, and it's okay if they don't buy your story. But the most important thing is you don't buy theirs. So just leave them feeling good about you, good about themselves, good about the company. And like Phil Hayden said, to have that dignity, the dignity is intact. So if down the track they change their mind and they want to come back, they're going to come back to you because they know how you made them feel. So I think, and just keep working on yourself. The more you work on you, and it's so easy not to do it, but you know, keep working on yourself and growing and learning and becoming more skilled at the things you need to be good at to do this business, which is all about people. So if you keep improving how you deal with people and being a good problem solver and having a good attitude, you know, you don't have to be perfect. And there's times when I know I've just got to have a little bit of time out to go and, you know, not deal with people for a while, because I do a lot of people stuff. So I can just totally be silent and still and get that time to reboot and then come back and be more effective. So really listen to, like Rosemary said, your gut instinct and intuition. It's generally not wrong. And just be yourself. You want to be authentic. There's nothing wrong with upskilling yourself, but you've still got to be you at the same time, and that's okay.
You also got to remember, if you're the one that's put the flyer in the letterbox, and depending on what style of flyer that is, and depending on how you've done it, and if it's a weight loss flyer like yours at the moment, which is a before and an after photo, the person's ringing because they've seen your result and want something similar. So you've already half qualified them if they've made that phone call. Now, there could be plenty of people out there that are just curious and really don't want to go any further. But if we live in an age today where people pretty well text each other and don't ring each other, if they've rung you, they've already basically said to you, I want help. They've already said that. Now, whether they can afford it, whether they want total everything at the moment, they have actually said to you, I want help. So if you can form them slowly and get a connection with that person, you will more than likely get them across the line in some way, shape or form.
Yeah. And I think if you have to handle some questions and objections, because they may come up on the phone or while you're seeing them face to face for their appointment, could be that they've got an opinion about Herbalife. You know, hey, what do you know about Herbalife, or what have you heard of? Have you used it before? If they haven't used it before, you know, it's an opinion, not a fact. And all you can say is, look, I don't know about that. All I know is I've been using Herbalife now for the last 28 years. I feel amazing. Or they might say, oh, I don't like shakes. I go, you know what? I love all the different recipes we have. I can eat it. I can drink it. I can have it in, you know, yogurt with berries, or muesli, porridge. I can do all these amazing recipes with it. You should come to one of our masterclass sessions. That's one that's on tomorrow at 10 a.m. and try one of our amazing recipes that you can eat. So you've got to be solutions orientated and it's no problems. And it's still okay if they aren't interested after that. You just do your best to give them a solution. Obviously price is another one. Oh no, that's too much. But I do remember with Cara, that she first said that trial pack, then it was around about the 125 that she wanted to spend. And I know that she's got more than that on once we caught up with her. And then, of course, she upgraded after the coming to an event, and it just kind of grew. But I think it was probably because she didn't know who I was. And it was just
we need
that,
to build a relationship.
Yeah, the like and trust factor as well. And it's okay, you know, whatever someone's, you know, if they say this is all I can afford to spend, that's great. So try and find the best program that's going to fit in with that to give them the best result, knowing that over time you can talk to them about other products and they can try some samples and things like that. I know one of my clients, her hubby works at the butcher's in town, and she bought a Herbie beverage, so I just put an empty, not empty, because they have one sachet in it, the Hydrate. She's never tried it before. I put a little sachet in there with the box and just put enjoy your H24 sample, and just did a little, I've got a thing about who I am, and just put it all in there in a nice little bag and delivered it that way. And I thought I'm just going to add that value, like Lindy was saying, and try and, you know, show that, you know, it's, you know, being a retail client, you're going to get treated so well, and you're going to get so much extra value that you weren't even expecting, basically. Some of the other objections, I don't know what they would be. I'm on a medication. Just say, look, I don't know about that. If you've got any issues, you can take the program to your doctor and just ask, is there anything in this program that I shouldn't be taking? That would probably be it. Because remember, we're not allowed to diagnose, but of course there's probably a lot of program results that we've got where people are on medications. And if you are someone that's on medication and taking the program, or you can talk from your personal experience as well. With any other objections you can think of, Jan?
No, not off the top of my head. No, not that I can think of.
Cool. So you are going to get some objections, and it's okay. So, and you know what, if they've been on Herbalife before, just say, how did you go with that? And if they didn't have a good experience, just try and say, okay, maybe what happened? Did they not use it properly? They're probably not going to admit that. Did they get follow-up? If they haven't got follow-up, just let them know that they're going to get great follow-up. So I think they're all those sort of things. And if you're not sure, just say, look, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to speak to my mentor, and I'll get back to you. And you can always give us a call. We're happy to have a chat, Jen, Rosemary as well, and you know, help you out with that situation if you're not really sure on how to handle it. Okay, but just do the best you can, and know that, you know, if you can do everything you can and they still don't get started, it's okay. Just go on with the next person. So I hope you've got a lot out of that. I didn't want to go through a lot of slides on it. I really just wanted to read it out and maybe cover a few things. So did everyone get a lot out of that?
It was excellent.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Cool. So guys, we're going to do lots of these different types of trainings and add them in. And I know Lindy's been messaging me on some things that we can cover.
Sorry.
But no, that's cool.
That's what we want.
Yeah, because we're always coming up with things that we don't know. So we want to share them with the rest of the group, because generally if you've got the question, someone else has it too.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep adding those things in.
Because we're still learning. It's like us today. Because we've obviously got a member that's just gone supervisor, I said to Shelley, what's org volume? Group volume. What's group volume? And why doesn't it add? And she goes, I'm not sure. I said, well, go and make a phone call. So she did. And then I looked at it and went, that doesn't add up. And then I went into the lady's order and went, now it adds up, and now I know exactly what it stands for. So even us, we're still all learning.
Group volume is?
So group volume is your supervisor has achieved their 4,000. Their next order after that becomes the group volume until obviously the end of that particular month. Because when I looked at it, I went, that doesn't add up. Kara's done 4,180 volume. The group volume's telling me 165. And I went, so it should be 180. And I went, so I went into the order. The order's 165. So obviously you achieved 4,020 volume points. The next order becomes my group volume. I didn't realize that. And I've asked that question numerous times throughout this career, different people, and no one has actually, I've never asked the right person, we never really rung up, has actually been able to tell me.
Oh.
So yeah, it was interesting. And actually to actually see it physically, it was 165.75, and her latest order is 165.75. So it now makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. So it's always good to learn new things, especially with BizWorks, because you see a lot of things on there, and just knowing, and if we learn, then we can share it.
Yeah.
And the same thing. So
and that's one thing that Phil brought up on the weekend, which was really, really good. If you don't know, go find out. there's plenty of us to ask, and if we can't ask, there's a corporate number that we can all ring that we can find out. We will find out as much as we can, and like he sort of implied yesterday on Saturday, he threw out, you know, if you're going to do 500 royalty, what's the volume on that? And then he went, if you're going to do get team, what's it? And some of the people in the room just sat there and like a stunned look, I don't know. And it's like, well, shouldn't you know? You should know. You want to get to those levels. It's about understanding the business. And look, I understand he went through other things that he wanted to know, but you should really know. And if you don't know, start asking questions and use this call as much as we can to get that information out there. Because if you don't know, I guarantee you, there's other people around exactly the same that aren't being told.
So it's a good question to ask. Would the people on the call have value in us doing a training where you know exactly how much volume points and what that means in org volume for you to achieve those higher levels? So you're very clear on it. Would you like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. And luckily we have some people that have already achieved those levels.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
They can tell you from their personal experience as well. Okay, so that we'll do, make sure we do that, because they're kind of those, you know, business builder trainings that you need. If you've got those goals, you want to know exactly how to achieve it.
Because realistically, I suppose I look at it from my point of view. We want to give as much value for nothing as we possibly can. And like you say, a lot of the time, we're listening to a lot of the Mark Hughes trainings and videos at times to go, that doesn't get spoken about anymore. That doesn't get spoken about anymore. And we want to make sure that the people that are on the call get to understand what that's all about, and whatever that may be. You know what I mean? It's about building your business and able to assist and help as many people as possible, as quick as possible.
So the best thing you could do is every morning or whenever you can, we often have it playing in the background. In fact, I think Mark Hughes has been playing
pretty all day today.
You know, listening to the Mark Hughes trainings and Jim Rohn, and we just put it in YouTube. Is that what it is?
It's just the Telstra TV unit, and it obviously Telstra TV unit has YouTube in it, and we just click into YouTube and just go look through for Mark Hughes or Jim Rohn and just let it play. Sometimes it just flicks itself across to other things. You just go back, kick it off, and find something else. And
it was so cool because what I used on the call this year, he covered today. It's like, yes, that's exactly. And he was talking about retailing and talking to people. So it was just great.
It's just subliminal in the background. And every now and again, they'll say something, you go, oh. And because it's a Telstra, you can walk up and go, I'll back that up, and I'll stop for the 5 or so minutes, and I'll listen to that, and I'll take the note on it, and then I'll go back and do whatever I'm doing.
Well, I wrote Jim Rohn one down on goal setting. So he said, the first thing you got to do is ask for what you want. If you're not willing to ask, then why would you get it in the first place? And then the second one was to, you know, get into as much detail about it, like describe it and have as much detail in it as possible. Make it really definite, as definite a goal as you possibly can. And then the next one, which I can't remember. And the fourth one was the belief. So having that childlike belief of that anything is possible and that you can achieve it. So I really like that. Where was it? I got with it on it. It's gone. Anyway, I just thought it was very interesting that, that all came from the Jim Rohn training, because we're talking about goals and setting some goals, which we've been doing a little bit today. So you first have to ask for what you want. So you have to be willing to ask, and then start getting all the details, the dramas in the details, and start working on those things as well. And that's a continuous thing. And I think you would all agree, if you go to an STS and you hear from a guest speaker, especially someone as inspiring as Phil, that it gets you thinking about your goals and what you want to achieve. And it keeps you totally inspired by someone else's story that you could do it too. So let's just go on, because this rolls in perfectly with the events. So these are all the events that are coming up, plus there's many more, of course. Where's your kickoff event in your local area? If you don't have one, then start one. I'm not looking at you, Lindy, at all, but
so when you start one, Lindy?
Oh, sorry, I was a bit deaf there. Yeah.
So something that I'll give you an example of something you need to think about.
Yep.
I was watching a video that Jared Cater put up tonight. He was doing a video with him and Quinton, and they were talking about where they are. And he said, "Do you remember where we started? We started with a fit club, and there was 2 of us, you and me. Where are they now?" So theoretically, just go do it. Just start. And if it's you and you, So what? Practice, do, find, build.
So
right?
your kickoff event could be like a masterclass, like
Could
a
be.
recipe making session with a few people, and it just starts from there. Probably one of the things I love about, like tomorrow we've got a masterclass, and I can see who's coming now. There'll be Trish, there'll be Helen, there'll be Tamara, there'll be Cara. So there's at least 4 members there that, yes, we'll do a recipe making session, but I can see it turning into a bit of a training as well. So, you know, there's opportunities will come because you started something else. So if you don't have something in your local area, just start doing something that feels like you, that's fun, that gets people trying the products and brings people together. Just start something and then start promoting it, and you'll be surprised what can happen. So we've got Shondell Bell coming up, which is really exciting, on the 3rd of August. It's at 1 o'clock. So we're really looking forward to training. I've kind of got yes, a bit of a outline for Shondell to share, because I know the value that she can deliver. So who do you know in Gympie? And definitely everyone's welcome. You know, fill your car and come along. STS.
Get in the plane. Get on your plane. Get in the plane and fly if you have to. And you got to remember, you got Shondell, which is the president's team, coming to Gympie. Yes, it may only be for 2 hours, but it's a free event.
Okay, that being the case then, Ross, maybe in August you and Shelley want to go to the Sydney STS, because we've got president's team Jason Neems from the States. There you go. Now it's on you.
That's cool.
Well, I've got Caroline Warlow,
Oh.
president's team.
What date in Sydney?
It is the 10th of August. Saturday the 10th.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, so you've got to remember, who have you got all around Australia? Obviously, we've got in Brisbane Millionaire team member Carolyn Warlow, but of course, you've got people, events all around Australia. So who can you invite to those locations? Because there's always someone that can look after them for you. Plus, STSs are worldwide. So who do you know in other countries? You've got the Sports Wellness Tour of Australia in September with Dr. Dana Ryan. So the dates have been sent out, and the locations. So I would be, my goal would be to start recruiting as many people as you can now, so that you can take them along to this event and also access their centre of influence so they can invite people into that event. Yes, you want to invite people as well as guests, because it'll all be free, but who can you recruit now so that you can start working with them and have a team of people that could go to any of those different locations around Australia. You know that Dr. Dana is going to deliver a really good training. The World Team Retreat and Tab Team Masterclasses on the 13th to the 15th of September, which I've got spelling error there.
Love the spelling. It's really unique.
It is September. It's not a strange one. Family in Sydney, oh dear. And January the 17th to the 19th, 2020, I want you to put this in your diary, the Adelaide Spectacular at the Adelaide Convention Centre. So make sure you save that date, and don't just think about, am I going to go, or I am going, who could I take with me? And of course, for new people, you want them to start thinking about the costs involved with this. Show them how to go on profit, how they can plan and get some clients and things like that, and use their Herbalife income to pay to get to this event. But you know what they're going to see for the people that have already been to these, and you know it's going to help them grow and see that big picture. There's lots of recognition. There's so much value in that weekend. So show people how to plan ahead to get there, airfares, accommodation, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And the H&F riders have also put out their point of interest for any cyclists that want to join in, or crew as well. That's just come out too, for if people are interested.
There's a Facebook page, so you'll find that promoted as well.
Yeah. With Spectacular, seriously look at what it will cost you from wherever your area is to fly there yourself. So therefore you can tell that to someone else, roughly what it's going to cost you in accommodation, and start to break it down in months backwards. So you can say to the person, look, you're only going to need $20 a month or $50 or whatever it is from wherever you're coming from, so you can help that individual get there, rather than they get to December and go, oh, I've just spent money on Christmas, so no, I can't go because I've got no money left. Help now, work something out to get them there.
Cool. So put that in your diary, that date, and the flyer has come out, and all the other details for qualifications for VIP seating and photo opportunities and
That hasn't come out.
no, but that will come out shortly.
Can't say.
So, so this is some of the promotions. So the first slide was events. This is promotions. So the brand new member activation program for with the exclusive Herbalife nutrition branded bag, and it's like a backpack and bottle. It's pretty cool. I think it's it'll be a great one for people to be able to use and get out there as well. Like they'll be able to use it more. I love the blender too, but I do like the bottle and the bag. I'm just getting on the time.
Yeah.
So that one is for you know, new members, and they have to start it within their first 90 days of getting registered. Is that right?
First cut's got to be in the first full month, first full third month. Sorry, yes.
Okay.
The first 500.
Great. So 500 volume points each month for 3 months in a row, which is great. So then of course, because we were thinking, well, I'd really like to have the bag to show people. So they must have read our mind, and they've come up with this great promotion for supervisors. So any supervisors on call, so brand new supervisor promotion for the exclusive Herbalife Nutrition backpack and bottle is between July and September. So you're going to do 3,000 volume points each month to qualify. So what I would suggest, yes, it's okay to just go, oh, well, I'm just going to use that in product anyway, so I'll just buy the extra on top of what I'd normally use. But I would suggest that you, because obviously the first month this month, you know, going out and getting some new clients, upgrading people onto the hair care, asking for referrals, getting some new members and helping them get started, and do it that way so that it's growth in your business, okay? So this is a really great qualification as a supervisor, especially if you're generally doing your 2,500 each month. It's just a small stretch to do the rest. So I would suggest that if you're able to do that, I would, and it means that then you can show that as a promotional item to really paint the picture. You know, like if a new member can feel it and see it and look at it, do you think they're going to be more likely to want to go for it? Yes. So that's what I would be doing. This is the last month to qualify for the Herbalife vacation to Vietnam. The new vacation will be announced next month. Well, I can't wait to see where that is. And congratulations to all our new senior consultants. I'm having a real terrible spelling. Sorry, I need to do this tonight. Success builders, qualified producers and supervisors, and anyone else that's moved up in the marketing plan. Congratulations. And also now, this is our July, that's finished July off strong. So we want you to help all your new people and your existing people keep qualifying for those things that they want to as well. So make sure you know what their goals are and just help them achieve what they are letting you know, that's whatever their goal is. And is there anything else?
No.
I think I've got a Marquis quote to finish. Care more about others and you will be taken care of. I think we all truly believe that, yes? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, just keep, planting those seeds and talking to more people and letting them know how much you care, because it's amazing what can happen from that. So I hope you all got a lot out of the call tonight. I'll stop sharing so we can all see our lovely panel of people. So thank you for being on the call tonight, everybody.
Thank you.
Rosemary is here. This is where Rosemary is, just so you know. And we're going to convert the call, put it onto YouTube and put the recording out. So Jan, if you want your new person that wasn't able to jump on tonight to listen to the recording, you can either tag them on it or I can send you the recording link. Just let me know what you would like. I think you're on mute. Sorry. You're on.
I just want to make sure that, she is serious and going to be on the calls. I don't want it on and off, on and off.
Okay, that's okay. But sometimes that will happen too. But as long as they can listen to the recording, that's great too. Because sometimes getting on live, especially international times and things happen. So have a great week, everyone. So we have 10 more days before the end of the month, and we can conclude today. So make the last 10 days count, or the last 9 days from tomorrow. The end of month is going to be the 31st, which I think is a Wednesday. I'm sure. And I would just go and have a look on BizWorks, go back to all your clients, have you let them know about the new hair care, have you sent out the customer newsletter for this month, have you let everyone know about the new active member program, use all the tools and promotions, to your advantage, and you never know what's going to inspire someone to want to stretch and grow and just do that little bit more. Have I covered everything, Jan?
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
So thank you, Jan and Rosemary, for your great tips, for talking to people, and everyone else for sharing tonight and being part of the call. We really appreciate it.
Okay, night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.